I'm satisfied that it, reaffirms things that I have been saying over not really the past year and a half, but during the time of the investigation and the time of my resignation, that my official acts and decisions as Assistant Secretary were legitimate endeavors that improve the quality of life of the areas under my responsibility.
But in a phone interview with KUAM this morning, former DOI Assistant Secretary for Insular Areas Tony Babauta acknowledged there were some appearances of conflicts, but he trusted then, as he does now, that his personal relationships with island leaders had no bearing in how he made his final decisions. It was in January 2013 Babauta resigned from his position following the launch of an investigation by the Office of the Inspector General into allegations that he may have been directing OIA grants and contracts to friends. Investigators determined that Babauta directed 2 OIA grants to the University of Guam to support the Micronesian Center for a Sustainable Future, or MCSF. The report stated, quote, both grants went to Babauta's former employer, a UOG senior official, and UOG subsequently hired Babauta's friend as the MCSF project coordinator. Quote, our investigation revealed that UOG allowed the MCSF project coordinator to expend close to $33,000 in grant funds on unallowable expenses, many of which were to his personal benefit.
Well, there absolutely was no favoritism with the University of Guam. I did a lot of business, and we gave grants to all different islands, and one of the first places that we went to, when we went to an island, and it was a grant that was appropriate for an institution of higher learning, then we went there. And actually, in effect, most of the universities or community colleges and all the various islands have a solid track record of receiving federal grants, either from the Department of the Interior or from other federal agencies, that have the financial infrastructure to be able to report, audit, and manage the grant.
The OIG also received allegations that he mistreated his employees through discrimination and sexual harassment. When one employee was interviewed, she described an instance in which Babauta commented on her chair being warm as a result of her buttocks being warm. Babauta told investigators that he may have said it in a joking way. This same employee, however, said Babauta sometimes made off-color jokes, but they were typical jokes made by other male colleagues. In another instance, an intern who was interviewed described Babauta as a shady guy and that he often commented on her clothes and told her she was wearing sexy shoes.
When I was first notified about the commencement of the investigation, I was told by the Office of Inspector General that I was being investigated on three separate sexual harassment cases. I think the bulk of the 3 were all mentioned in the report, and dismissed as well in the report. But at the start of the investigation, I was made aware that although there were 3 separate sexual harassment allegations against me, none of the women that were alleged to have been harassed had filed the report. It was filed by somebody other than the 3 who felt that my actions were inappropriate towards the women.
According to the Inspector General's findings, interviews with current and former OIA employees support that Babauta made inappropriate comments to employees and conducted himself unprofessionally at times. And despite allegations that Babauta used government travel to see his girlfriend, traveled to Saipan with no mission, and allegations that he traveled to Guam frequently for political reasons, investigators did not find evidence that Babauta used government travel for personal gain. But there were certain trips for government business in which he appeared to benefit personally. In a written statement, Babauta said that he was embarrassed by the personal matters that were included in the DOI report and apologized to his family. He added that he is grateful for the support that many have expressed for his term in office and is happy that this final report brings closure to his tenure. Babauta said that he will continue working toward improving our islands and looks forward to opportunities to return to public service. The OIG referred this case to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the districts of Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands. However, on July 30th, 2013, the U.S. Attorney's Office declined the case for criminal prosecution.